Yeah, so this is yesterday morning, and so let's get started.
7?
You hunted at 7. This is going out, right here you'll see a deer right in there. That deer we'll see later. This is over at 12. Here's some deer there we'll see later there at 12.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's where Randy's sitting. Here is at, that's 1. There's a little buck over here. And then here is our cotton field 8, 3 A's right here. So right there, as the sun's coming up, he's coming out of the woods. Look at the wind direction, and he's right there at 3A. So if you were sitting in 3A, you definitely could have gotten a chance to see him yesterday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And you were at 7.
Looks like, was he chewing there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got this sped up.
Yeah.
And then there's another deer behind him, and that's like a little kind of a spiky.
He's following along, learning.
Yep.
Teach me how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So is that the fire break?
Yep.
That feeds up to 3?
Yep. Yeah. All right. So now that's that. This is a 6 point that's over there by the high fence. I showed you it a while ago.
Right.
So
and he's still bedded.
He's still bedded, and he's just hanging out right there.
I noticed.
See that doe right there? So there's a doe right next to him. Now we've gone over to where Randy's hunting, and these are a couple doe that have walked up to his stand. See here, stand right here?
Right.
And so there's the doe here, and Randy's, they're 30 yards from Randy. Randy the whole time says, I didn't even know they were there.
So they're walking around.
Mm-hmm. They're eating and feeding and heading right up there towards him. I've come back over there. Now here is something that I thought you would like to see. So we left Randy, and now I'm over in a different little spot.
Is that
here.
left Uno?
Yeah, that's why I thought you'd like to see it. This is like your favorite deer, is left Uno. So there he is. He's over there on the area we call the T land. And so here is a doe and a spike walking up to Uno. I wanted you to see this.
So
I'll fast forward it a little bit.
There.
So it's a doe that turns out is kind of in heat.
Right.
And then there's a spike. You'll see the spike come up. And all of a sudden when the spike sees left Uno, he's like, hey, what's going on here? Hey. So watch what happens.
He's backing up.
Yeah, he's like, well, we're going to go this way.
Yeah. I think we'll change our directions. And Uno is headed that way.
Yeah, Uno's like, hey, sweetheart. And he's like, hey, come on now, I was doing good. Now you're off chasing my girl. And so, off they go. You can tell left Uno is definitely interested in that smell.
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to keep fast forwarding through here because they follow her for a while. Look at there.
Mm-hmm. And the spike takes the back seat.
Well, kind of. He just it's like they're all both, trying to find this deer. And so they're definitely chasing. There's no doubt that they are chasing.
Yeah.
And this is how it kind of ends right here.
And she knows she's being chased too.
Yeah. So here they're hanging out, and finally he shows some aggressive to the little guy, and the little guy takes off, and he no longer follows the doe after this. I come back over here and find him.
Yeah, he's like she's not ready yet. I'll note her. And so what do we got here?
So now this is the 6 point up by the high fence that we watched earlier, right? I showed you the doe that was close to him.
Yeah.
And now he's going down here. Notice the wind direction, but he's going to go down here and cross this creek.
That's the creek that comes on and goes back off the property.
Yeah, he crossed the creek, and he's going to come back up here, and you'll see in just a second what he does. So there's that doe right there. And here he is, getting close to her. He's like...
He's probably trailing where she walked before she bedded down.
He's trying out his best courting behavior for sure. He doesn't quite know what that looks like, but you can see the doe right there. And he literally gets up and just walks right to her, to where she finally gets up and runs away. So there she is there,
right.
And there he is.
Mm-hmm. She's moving out.
Mm-hmm. And he mills around for a minute, and then ends up kind of getting bored and heading in another direction. Like, well, that didn't work out too well. I don't know what I'm going to do. So let me go over here. You know.
Yeah, well, she may not have been hot enough for him to follow.
Yeah. So he runs off, and so let's see. I'll go back here. Here's where the doe bedded from Randy. They're right there. To show them. So they bed 30 yards from where Randy is. And now here we're back over at the 6 point, and he's back chasing that doe again. He's gone for another round towards her. He's going back, and he's going to cross that creek and go to her again.
And she went and bedded down a second time.
She went and crossed the creek. As soon as she got away from him, she bedded back down, and now he's gotten downwind of her, and he's coming back over to basically harass her again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he wouldn't call it that in court, but she gets up and runs off, and he's like, well, dag nabbit. And you can see him just sniffing.
Yeah.
Boy, he loves that smell. So here is also an area this is over at the T area,
mm-hmm.
and this is another buck that has sequestered a doe. And so he's eating and feeding, and he's exactly downwind from her, and she's bedded. You see her?
Mm-hmm.
There's another buck hanging out. I thought you might like to see. And then there he is again. There's another buck, the same buck that goes over here, and he goes literally lays down, right there where she was. Right there.
And you can see the trail that
Mm-hmm.
that would connect the two of them.
Yep. And so now this is some deer that are up and moving right along the edge down by 8.
There's 8.
Mm-hmm.
Is this last night?
This is still that morning.
Oh, still?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm just trying to see. This is where all the deer come and they bed right up in here. See all these deer that are coming right down by 8?
Yeah.
And they all just kind of form up in here. Now, at this point, I was following them because I thought they were going to come to you at 7. Remember I told you that,
Mm-hmm.
that at one point I actually cut the truck off and stuff, but here they are, that they are kind of heading up there towards where I'm thinking they might come
Mm-hmm.
to you at 7. So watch them what they do. They come up here, they get to a certain distance, and it's like they come up in here and they're like, no, we're not going to go that way. We're going to go another way. And see, they turn around, they're like, that's enough. All right, there's the end of our hunt. There's the end of our hunt for the first day. All right, so that was the first day's hunt.
Yeah.
You know, we see the bucks are chasing, they're sequestering the does, and
that's interesting. First time to see that activity on video.
Yeah.
The other times that I've seen it, it's been when there's been does in the food plot, and the buck would come out, chase them out of the food plot. And in a few minutes, the doe would come back, and you might see the buck again. I was sitting one day at V Field, and the buck came in and chased 5 does out, and some of the does came back, and I said to myself, if he comes back, I'm gonna shoot him. I'm tired of him harassing my does.
So this is the same 6-point that we saw in the morning. He's just down by the wood line now. And he's out in the afternoon, one of the first bucks I see roaming along the edge.
Mm-hmm.
So he's out there, you know, looking around.
So is that the one that came to the field later?
No.
No.
No. So that's the 6-point.
I was going to say, I thought the one that came to the field was a 4.
Mm-hmm.
But he's moving.
Yep, he's moving, you know, and searching and looking. And so there's the 4-point we see later. Okay, so this is just down from the food plot at 8.
Yeah.
And here's our first encounter with the does, and he's kind of sniffing them around and running them around. You can see he's gotten up close to her.
Yeah.
And now he's gonna. This is one of the mature does, and he ended up just running her off. And you know he's interested in that smell.
Yeah.
You know he that's what he notice. He doesn't go immediately for her. He's kind of. It seems like he's confused. You know.
Well, what I've seen them do, Will, is they'll be standing out in the open with the doe standing there, and they'll have their nose to the ground, not looking at the deer, but tracking the deer by smell.
Okay, so 8 is up here,
right?
And so this is the other side of the wood line. There's a doe over there, and then here's that 4-point chasing that other doe around. Here's the babies.
So and all this time, after I see the 2 babies and him, I'm wondering what happened to the 2 grown does,
right,
and that's the story there.
Yeah, you'll get to see it. You'll get to see it even better here in a little bit. Yeah, we haven't got to that part yet. So he's sequestered these 2. This other doe's taken off, and then you know you're up here crickets. Still down there chilling out eating. And so here's this other doe, the one that I think that you're going to end up shooting, and then here's 2 does that's coming to you. I'm like, oh man, they're coming to him. Let me go change batteries real quick. So now I've gone back and changed batteries, and now I'm back.
And you got 5 deer in on 6.
So now we are at pretty close to where you're at.
Right.
Okay, this is just south of 8. So these are the 2 yearlings that have made it up close to the food plot. I'm gonna take that back. Yeah, okay, all right, yeah. So actually that's on the other side. Here's what I want to show you here. Okay, that's a 4-point out in 7. bedded out in 7.
He's like Life's getting difficult.
Yeah, right. Out in the middle of the day, just let me just take a nap out here. All right. So so here's Lefty. He's behind you, between you and 7, and he's being a sagebrush Sammy. And so here's what's happening at 8. So we've got our 3 does here, the mama and the 2 babies.
So they've reconvened.
Yep, they've reconvened, and the buck's behind them. 4 points right there. He's just chilling out.
And as far as I know, there's not a deer within 100
Right.
miles.
Oh yeah,
on me.
yeah. And so here's the one that I kept saying. This is the one Dad wants to shoot right here. This is the extra doe that Dad wants to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And so here she is coming up. So you can see the other mama going down there to her. That's what I'm trying to show here. The other mama goes down there to her, and as soon as so as soon as she gets down there to her, that buck comes down there to him.
Yeah, he's like twice the.
Twice the smell. Look where the wind's blowing too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there they are, and here he comes. Oh, look at there. And so he runs them. Those doe take off, and they go all the way to 6, basically.
Right.
So they go down, and I follow them here. You'll see.
Yeah, they go in the swamp down there.
Yeah. So there's the little babies. They're like, well, we don't know what to do.
Yeah, what's going on here?
And so they're right close to 8.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the 4 point. And then there's the 2 doe. They've gone all the way down there by 6. And they're still going away. So they just abandoned the babies.
Yeah.
Just abandoned the babies. And so here they are, walking into the food plot.
Yeah, and when I first, well, let's see, I didn't see that deer there, but I guess I did. They're in some, you can't tell it, but there's some broom sage,
Right.
some brush right there, and they walked in that brush until they got past the feeder, and then they broke out into the food plot.
All right.
So I'm watching them, and I'm like, okay, their mom's going to be behind them,
Right.
and here he comes.
Yep.
And whenever I first see him, he's got his head down eating, and I'm like, whenever he raises that head, it's going to be dead. And when he raised the head, it was a 4 point, and I'm like, man, that was supposed to be the mama.
That's funny.
So they're out there, the 3 of them, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? Okay, I got a 4 point. He's out there with the 2 babies, and where's the 2 grown does that I want to shoot? One of them.
He done run them both off. He did. He run them both off. You saw it, right?
Yeah.
And so that's in out feeding, just hanging out, chilling
So
out.
it's getting dark.
And
I'm like, well, this is going to be another dud, and I thought, I'm not going to shoot that 4 point.
So here's where the other deer have started to come into the field. Okay, it has gotten. It's not legally dark, but it's close to it. And so here they come into the field, and you can see it's a mama and 3 babies. And there's the mama, the lead one that you end up shooting. The 3 babies run over there, and then the mama comes back over here, and the 4 point comes in, and you can tell the story from there.
Well, see, I didn't see any of this.
Okay.
I'm looking over here.
Okay.
trying to figure out what's going on, and then somewhere in here I shoot.
Yeah, this isn't where you shoot yet. It's in a little bit.
Well, when I shoot the first time, they all run.
Right. So I think this is maybe your shot right here.
There
No,
you
that's
go.
it. That was the shot right there.
Yeah, and what did I shoot at? One of the babies?
So I mean, I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah.
I've got it sped up.
So I must have shot at one of those three, thinking that was one of the mamas that was out there.
Okay. Oh, I think I saw something. Oh yeah, I want you to see this. Look. Okay, look right there. Okay, see this deer right here?
Yeah.
That's what you shot at. That's the one you shot at. Watch the bullet hit.
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It looks to me like you missed that deer bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to see you hit the other deer here in a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought every deer that was out there left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I started looking over here,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, well, there's some deer who come back.
Right.
See, I wasn't aware that any of this down here was going on.
Okay.
I thought the 4-point had left.
Okay.
And I thought everything that was over there had left.
Okay.
And I'm like, man, I missed that deer. And then I saw that deer come back.
I got you.
And whenever I saw that deer come back, then I saw this big one here.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, okay. There's more deer out here than I've seen.
So we got the 3 babies, the mama, the 4-point, and the 2 babies over here.
Right.
Okay? And then watch this gunshot. Did you see that? Watch it again. Look, watch right there.
Yep.
You see that?
Yeah.
And the deer falls. Pow.
And
The
then
deer run. 2 of the babies run. They don't know what's going on. This one doesn't know what's going on. 4-point doesn't know what's going on. But finally, something happens, and they're like, okay, we got to get out of here.
well, the 4-point decides, hey, I better leave. Something strange. And then the 2 of them wind up back here in front of me.
Yeah, right there. And that's how we end it.
That's crazy.
That's how we end it.
That's crazy.
Wasn't that cool?
The story is you. I mean, even though I was there, I only knew part of the story.
Right. You didn't know all of it that was
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah, and it had gotten so dark that I couldn't see the rest of the deer out there.
Oh, all right. Well, that's the 28th and 29th.